Hello and welcome to another episode of DailyMole, your daily gaming news. My name is ChaosMole, and today we have an interview with the Vice President of Ubisoft's Strategic Innovations Lab. That is the part of Ubisoft which is focusing on Ubisoft Quartz and all the NFT thingy. And they had an interview with the Australian financial comparison site Finder, and they were talking about NFTs, how the community took it, and I don't even know where to start. Like, this is really the person, and you will hear it and see it in the interview, which is telling you that the thing they are doing is not a scam. And when you ask them, hey, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that a little bit to the people to actually understand it? Now you don't get it. You wouldn't get it if I try to explain this to you. He literally says that. And it's like, oh no, Ubisoft, what the hell, man? So let's go into the interview. And this is a bit of a TLDR. The interview is relatively lengthy. If you want to read the whole shebang, you will find a link in the video description. But I think we have some highlights here. And let's jump directly into them, shall we? This is by VGC. And they're like, well, it was a reaction we were expecting. Port said on a large negative response to its Quartz NFT system. We know it's not an easy concept to grasp. I was like, no, it's actually pretty easy for the people to grasp, and that is exactly why people are calling you out. It's not like that they are sitting here stunned and don't know what you are doing. That's the problem for you. But Quartz is really just the first step that should lead to something bigger, something that will be more easily understood by our players. Port continued to imply throughout the interview that the player backlash was due to their inability to understand the benefits of NFTs rather than a legitimate concern about the scheme. I think gamers don't get it, what a digital secondary market can bring to them. For now, because of the current situation and context of NFTs, gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet and second, just a tool for speculation. But what we at Ubisoft are seeing first is the end game. The end game is about giving players the opportunity to resell their items once they have finished with them or they have finished playing the game itself. So it's really for them. It's really beneficial, but they don't get it for now. Okay, first, dude, he is not even denying this. Like, gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet and second just a tool for speculation. Well, then explain me why it isn't. I'm still waiting for that. I'm waiting that the person is actually coming up to me and can explain to me how this is not for speculation and most of the thing is destroying the planet. And he doesn't even deny it here. He's literally going like, oh, well, but we see the big picture. Like, we see the end game. And so you're telling me that we're okay with destroying the planet and also using it as a speculation tool just to give the players the opportunity to resell their items once they have finished with them? Here's the thing, mate. You can do this without all of the NFT bullshit. You could have done this for you. Like, hell, have you ever heard about the Steam Marketplace? Remember the hat craze from the good old Team Fortress days? Where people were selling hats left and right? And there was also some speculation going on behind the scenes. Remember that? Counter-Strike skins? Huh? Somebody remember that scheme? So when you were telling me, nah, we need this so that people can actually resell their items, it's for them, it's in their best interest. You could have done this without all the NFT bubble. You decided not to. And you know why? Because you hope to make a lot of money from this. That is the small little part of information they have missed out here is like, hey, every time you are selling an item, well, we are getting paid for that because we are the original owner of the NFT. So every time we are getting money. Like, so it's really for them bullshit. It's for you to make money. It's really beneficial. No, it's not, because you haven't explained to me how it is. You are just telling me it's beneficial. It's like my bank is trying to explain to me why this particular financial product is beneficial. And I'm like, okay, explain me how it is. And then saying, you wouldn't get it now. What? No. Like, this is just, When asked about the news that Stalker 2 developers GC Game World had to U-turn on its NFT plans following players' backlash, Puart again put down to a lack of player comprehension. It's saddening to see there is still some resistance based on misunderstanding, but I'm not sure we can really compare what Stalker 2 was trying to do with what we are trying to achieve with Quartz. It's not the same use case to the player, I would say. No, it is. Like, Stalker was trying to sell in-game NPCs as an NFT. You were selling in-game skins as an NFT. Like, both is basically a skin just for an NPC or for a weapon. It doesn't really change the thing. And despite the attempt to portray the plans in a positive light, and yada yada, and then the whole thing goes on. Developer confused by the plans reportedly wrote, "I still don't really understand the problem being solved here. It is really worth the extremely negative publicity this would cause." He was also going on in the original interview, which I have here open as well. It's, as I said, a really lengthy interview. And this one is the original. Like, he's not really talking about how this helps us at all and why this is basically needed, right? And they're also saying at no point we will force our players to use quartz and digits. And it's like, Ubisoft, especially you, who has never forced anyone to use your microtransactions, but has probably changed a lot of gameplay elements to make the microtransactions more enticing. I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe you. The same thing is, and this is super interesting, like how blind this person actually is. Let me see this very quickly. They were talking about, they were actually talking about how they use this in Ghost Recon, right? And like that you had to play 2 hours after you bought the game so that you can even start with the NFTs. Yeah, here it is. Then there's the way we build the platform regarding eligibility criteria. We have made it so it's somewhat hard for people to get into. You must purchase the game, which is not really hard. You must play at least 2 hours, so it's a bit complicated for pure speculators to get there and invest and inflate the markets. Ubisoft, you are selling this game for $5, and you don't have to play the game for 2 hours. You literally have to start up the game and let it run in the background for 2 hours. You have to do nothing in the game. That you basically link the NFTs to hours instead of things you have to achieve in the game before you can unlock, really shows it's not a big issue. Like, I have multiple games on Steam where I have probably 100 hours in it, and 10 hours of those 100 hours was me just being on the desktop or something like that in total. Like, this is not a criteria, right? Like, the biggest problem is really that none of these people want to explain exactly how it helps, what solution this is for what problem. And every time you're asking them, it's like, oh, you wouldn't get it. Oh, you wouldn't get it. It's really beneficial for you, but you just wouldn't get it. And it's like, yeah, this is a red flag, which clearly shows that you don't want to explain it to me because you know that people would actually get it and would say, that's bullshit. And even though we haven't explained it to people, people got it. And this is why they are against it. And especially Ubisoft is trying to fight that so hard because they have realized that their system, their microtransaction system, is similar to an NFT system, which is clearly a scam. And they are trying desperately to link it now so that they can make some money from that. And they just don't give a damn about what their community wants. Like, I said it before, like, I wouldn't probably have a problem with this to a certain degree if the publishers, first and foremost, would focus on delivering good games. But they don't. Like, we have played Rainbow Six Siege Extraction, not a bad game, but definitely middling. I have played the new Settlers game. It's like, whatever. Like, all in all, especially Ubisoft has shown over the recent years that they have so many issues with some of their games, and they're mostly mediocre at this point. And instead of focusing on making their games more interesting and better, they're focusing on how can we get even more money out of it. And that is not just something I have a problem with. So, yeah, this interview shows again that in my opinion, shows that Ubisoft is tone deaf and doesn't really give a damn about anything their players want. So, yeah. If you want to see the whole interview, I will put it into the video description, as I said. We are done with the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're on your way out, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, you want to get daily gaming news, reaction videos, tips and tricks for new games, and then also some other opinion videos I'm making now and then, I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you are getting informed when the next video is going up. And if you ever want to catch me live, you can do so from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. East Coast time, which is 2 p.m. UK time and 3 p.m. Central European time, over at trovo.live/ChaosMole. The link is in the video description. And we are also talking about gaming news and always playing the newest games. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.